So how are you? I hope you are all very well, I think. Today we are going to see the next topic in cell biology, that is your cell wall. So idhula edhu vandu plant cell la irukum edhu plant cell la irukadu appdin pathina number 1 vandu cell wall. So next one vandu plastids. This both of them is very important and different features. So first one is a plant cell and another one is a animal cells. The plant cells are usually larger than the animal cells. Okay, so what can we write? That's a smaller than the plant cells. So the cell wall is present addition to the plasma membrane. Actually it has a plasma membrane, so that plasma membrane is covered by the cell wall. Okay, but the cell wall is absent here. Here the cell wall is differentiated into 3 layers. The first layer is a primary wall and secondary wall and middle lamellae is there. The middle lamellae is a middle layer. Okay, on the either side we can see the primary wall and secondary wall is present. And next one is a plasmodesmata is present. Plasmodesmata is nothing, that is a small wire between the two cells. Okay, so all the cells are interconnected to each other. So with the help of that plasmodesmata, through this way, so the material will be, so they have to move from one cell to another. That is a plasmodesmata. And chloroplast is present in the plant cell. Okay, here the plasmodesmata is absent. So chloroplast is present. Because the presence of the chloroplast, the plants are differ from the animal cells. Okay, so they can carry out the photosynthesis, they can prepare the food materials. So then only that is called by, that is autotrophic organisms. Okay, so the chloroplast is absent here. The vacuoles are large and permanent. The vacuoles are very big and there's a large, that is a large vacuoles, and permanently that is in the plant cell. But what about here? That is vacuoles are very small and it will be disappear. Okay, that is a temporary in position. And tonoplast is present around the vacuole. Okay, so the vacuole is covered by a membrane. The name of the membrane is called, that is a tonoplast. Okay, so the tonoplast is absent here. The vacuole without a membrane, that is a tonoplast is absent. And next one is a centrioles are absent except in motile of the lower plants. So what is the centrioles? The centrioles are, that is very important for the cell divisions. Okay, the centrioles are present in the animal cell, that is absent in the plant cell, but in the lower plants that is present. So which one is moved with the help of the flagella and cilia? So it has the centrioles. And nucleus is present along the periphery of the cell. Here the nucleus at center of the cells. So periphery, that is just konjam the center la irundhu konjam orama irukakudiyadhu periphery nu solrom. This is center of the cells. And lysosomes are rare. Okay, lysosomes are called as a suicidal bags. It consists of all the toxic materials. Okay, so here the lysosomes are present. And the storage material, most of the plant, they can store the food material that is in the starch condition or in the carbohydrates. So here the starch is the food material. So what about here? There's a glycogen is the food material. But in the animals it may be changed. Storage food material is glycogen. But in the animal category, so in that algae, sometimes it consists of here mannitol. Okay, and some other food materials also present, but the main food material is the starch grains. So here there is a glycogen granules are present. Okay, see once again what are the main difference between the plant cell and animal cells. The first one is here is a larger cell, that is a smaller cell, and next one the cell wall is present. It consists of the 3 layers. So primary wall, secondary wall and middle lamellae is present. And what about that? The cell wall is absent here. Here the plasmodesmata is present, the plasmodesmata is absent there. Next chloroplast is present. So because the presence of chloroplast, the organisms, the plants are considered as a autotrophic organism, and vacuole is a large and permanent, but here that is a small in size and temporary in position. And tonoplast is the covering of, that is a vacuole. So this is absent in animal cell. Okay, and here the centrioles are absent. The centrioles are very essential for cell division in the animal cells. But what about in the plant cells? The centrioles are present only in the lower organisms. Those who are moving with the help of flagella and cilia, move பண்ணக்கூடியதுக்கு மட்டும் தான் அது வந்து இருக்குது. Next, nucleus is present in the periphery region, that is present in the center of the cell. Okay, so here the lysosomes are rare and lysosomes are present. okay, rarely present here. And next, that is a food material is a starch, and there the food material is a glycogen animals. The last year they asked this question in the 5 mark in the public examinations. Okay, what are the difference between the plant cell and animal cell? It's very easy to write. If you write any 5 points, you can get it the 5 marks. Okay, better you have to write all the points. If any points will not be considered, they will give the marks for another points. Okay, ma? So this is a very important 5 mark question. So next we are going to see the very important topic, that is your cell wall. Okay, so cell wall in the plant cell. So cell wall in the plant cell is the outermost layer, we know very well. So next, that is your cell membrane is there. So the cell membrane is covered by the cell wall, that is the outermost and protective layer in the plant cells. Okay, so what about in the bacteria and fungi? So even the bacteria also are covered by the cell wall, and fungi is also covered by the cell wall, but the cell wall is absent in the animal cells. Okay, who first discovered the cell? We know very well, that's a Robert Hooke discovered the cell. Okay, so the cell wall material will be changed from one organism to another organism. In most of the plant cell wall, that is made up of cellulose. Okay, and some of them is made up of, that is a pectin and lignin, suberin. Okay, so these are all the cell wall materials that is present in the plant cell. So what about in the bacteria, which is made up of the peptidoglycan is a cell wall material, and the fungi is made up of, that is a peptidoglycan, chitin. So these are all present in the fungi. Peptidoglycan in bacteria, and in the fungi consists of the chitin. That is a different cell wall material in the different organisms. So we will see one by one. So this is your bacterium, the cell wall material, the cell membrane and cell wall is present. The cell wall is made up of, that is a peptidoglycan. The cell wall is the peptidoglycan, and that is fungi is made up of, that is a chitin. This is a fungi, this is made up of chitin or fungal cellulose. It consists of a fungal cellulose are present. Fungal cellulose. In algae is made up of cellulose, galactones and mannans. Okay, ma? So this is the cell wall materials. So in the plant cell பார்க்கும்போது we have to see the, so most of the plant cell வந்து cellulose அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம், but the bacteria consists of the peptidoglycan and the fungi consists of chitin and fungal cellulose. In algae consists of, that is a cellulose, galactons and mannans. So these are all the cell wall material in the algae. So this is the cell wall, the structure of the bacteria, and this is the structure of the fungi. It consists of your glycoproteins and glucans, it's a chitosan, and another one is your polysaccharides. Okay, so this is your the cell wall material in the fungal cells. So cell wall in the plant cell, which is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose, so pectin, cellulose, so hemicellulose, pectin, lignin, cutin and suberin and silica is present. Okay, so cellulose is the common cell wall materials. So example for parenchyma consists of, that is a cellulose materials. So what about in the, that is a collenchyma cells? So the collenchyma is a type of the tissues. It consists of a cellulose and hemicellulose material is there, and in the pectin is present in the sclerenchyma. So sclerenchyma is also a simple tissue which is made up of pectin. Okay, so this is somewhat very hard materials. கொஞ்சம் வந்து ரொம்ப ஹார்டா இருக்கும். Cellulose இருக்கக்கூடிய cell wall materials வந்து it's very soft, and hemicellulose little bit that is a hard in nature, and pectin அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து it's very strong. Okay, so pectin and lignin. Okay, the pectin and lignins are present in the sclerenchymatous cells. Okay, the cutin is present in the cuticle. So where is the cuticle? The cuticles are present in the leaf. Okay, are present on the, that is your stem. The outer surface of the stem is look like very shiny because the presence of the cuticle. Okay, so cutin is a wax-like substance that is protect the plants from the, there is a transpirations. If the transpiration is occur continuously, it will be prevented by the, there is a cutin. Okay, and another one is a suberin. So suberin is present in the endodermal cells. Actually in the endodermal cells consists of, that is a radial wall thickening, and another one is a tangential wall thickening. So this is a structure of endodermal cells. It consists of radial wall thickening, and another one is this is a tangential wall thickening. So that is made up of, that is a subrine. Okay, here the subrine is present. So the subrine is a somewhat hard material. It will not allow any particle from through this way. Okay, and another one is a silica, which is present in some extra outgrowth. Okay, needle like structures and the mari extra outgrowth irukkudiya plants la silica is present. Okay, so cell wall in the plant cell, so that is mainly present in cellulose and hemicellulose, pectin, lignin, cutin, subrine and silica is present. So how many layers in the cell wall? Actually the cell wall is consists of 3 layers. So one is the primary wall, and another one is a secondary layer, then third one is your middle lamellae. So actually the middle lamellae is present in the middle region. Okay, either side we can see the primary wall and secondary wall. You can see the structure. So here the middle lamellae is present. So this is the middle lamellae. So we can draw one more cells here. Okay, so this is present between the 2 cells. Rendu cellgalukku naduvula irukradanaala this is the middle lamellae. So we are thinking this is in the outermost layer. Actually this is not a outermost layer. You can draw one more cells here. Okay, so that is present in the middle. So this is a middle lamellae. And next to the middle lamellae, in inner to the middle lamellae we can see the primary wall, and inner to the primary wall we can see the secondary wall. Okay, this is the secondary wall. The secondary wall consists of 3 layers. So this is the S1, S2, S3. We can see the S1, S2, S3 in the secondary wall, and inside we can see the lumen. Okay, so in the lumen we can see all the cell organelles. Okay, so that is a cell content is present inside the cell. So one by one we will see that. So first one is here primary wall. Okay, so it is the first layer that is inner to the middle lamellae. Okay, so it is very loosely arranged, actually loose network of cellulose. So the primary layer of the cell wall is made up of cellulose. Okay, and it consists of the microfibrils அப்படினு சொல்றோம். That's a fiber like structure is present, that is known as a microfibrils. Okay, so loose network, and this is a microfibrils are present, and it is mingled with a gel matrix. Okay, just imagine it, a gel is there. In the gel we can see the some fibers, coconut fibers irukle, and the fibers imagine panikonga, it's look like a coconut fibers, and it consists of a cellulose. Okay, so this is the structure of primary wall. So primary wall of the cell wall is made up of cellulose. Main cell wall material is a cellulose. If the cellulose is present, the cell wall is very thin and that is elastic in nature. Instead of cellulose, if it has a lignin and subrine, or if that is any other material is present, that will be a very thick, and that is a thick in nature. That is, we cannot see any elastic nature there. Okay ma? Appo thinna irukradhukku reason enna appdin pathina, because the presence of the cellulose. Okay ma? So that is, it is thin and elastic and extensible. Elastic na adu konjam virivadanjukite pogum. That is a extensible in condition. Okay, so the most of the plants, the microfibril is some fiber like nature in the primary wall, that is made up of cellulose and oriented differently based on the shape. Okay, based on the formations, it gives a different shape. Okay, and thickness of the wall. So adhigamana microfibril irunduchuna, it will be very thick appdin solrom. The matrix of the primary wall is composed of, that is a hemicellulose, pectin, glycoprotein and water. Okay ma? So initially that is made up of cellulose. Okay, then the matrix is filled with another cell wall materials, that is a hemicellulose, pectin, glycoprotein and water. Okay, now the cell wall is somewhat hard. Okay, இதெல்லாம் சேர்ந்துருச்சு அப்படினா cell wall material வந்து கொஞ்சம் திக்கா ஆயிரும். தின்னா இருந்தது வந்து என்ன ஆயிரும்? திக்கா மாறிடும். If it has only the cellulose மட்டும் இருந்துச்சுனா அது தின்னா இருக்கும். cellulose தவிர hemicellulose, pectin, glycoprotein இதெல்லாம் ஜாயின் பண்ணும்போது கண்டிப்பா அது ரொம்ப திக்கா மாறிடுது. Okay, so this is the structure, that is a middle lamellae. Okay, this is the primary wall. So I said, you know, that is a microfibril. This is the microfibril. Okay, microfibril. So that is a mingled with, that is a matrix. The matrix consists of, so all the cell wall materials are present. Hemicellulose, pectin, glycoprotein இதெல்லாம் எதுல இருக்கு அப்படினு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, so இந்த middle portionல தான் இதெல்லாம் இருக்கு. So next the hemicellulose, already we studied that is எல்லா cell wall materialum இருக்கும் அப்படினு சொன்னேன். The hemicellulose is binds with the microfibril with matrix. The microfibrils in the matrix is nothing, that is a fluid substance. So அந்த fluid substance குள்ள அந்த microfibril வந்து இருக்கு, that is a binds with which cell wall material, எந்த cell wall material ஓட அது bind பண்ணிருக்கு அப்படினு பாத்தீங்கன்னா hemicellulose ஓட bind பண்ணிருக்கு. Hemicellulose is a cell wall material that's a binds with the microfibril with a matrix. Okay, and another one is a glycoprotein is control the orientations of the microfibril ஓட அந்த formation வந்து control பண்ணக்கூடியது எது அப்படினா that's a glycoproteins. Okay, and another one is a pectin is used to filling the material of the matrix. அப்ப matrix குள்ள இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த gel like substance வந்து fill பண்ணக்கூடியது pectin. Okay, so hemicellulose அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து microfibril ஓட bind பண்ணிக்குது. Glycoproteins வந்து they have to control the orientations of the microfibril ஓட formation எப்படி இருக்கணும் அப்படிங்கறத control பண்ணக்கூடியது glycoproteins. Okay, so the three cell wall material has a different role. Okay, so what is the functions of hemicellulose அப்படினா that's a bind with microfibril. Okay, with matrix ஓட join பண்ணனும் அப்படினா இது microfibril ஓட join பண்ணா தான் matrix ஓட join பண்ண முடியும். Okay, அதே மாதிரி glycoprotein வந்து orientation control பண்ணக்கூடியது. So proteins வந்து pectin வந்து that is involved in filling the material of the matrix அப்படினு சொல்றோம். The cells such as a parenchyma and meristems have only the primary wall. Okay va, so parenchyma and meristems we cannot see very thick wall. Okay, so it has a very thin wall. So because the presence of the that is a cellulose. Okay, cellulose மட்டும் இருக்கும் அப்படினா அது வந்து கண்டிப்பா ரொம்ப thin wall-ஆ இருக்கும். So that is considered as a living tissue. Okay, so because the presence of the protoplasm, if any cells, if it is made up of that is a cellulose, that is considered as a thin cell wall அப்படினு சொல்றோம். இன்னொன்னு that is a living tissue அப்படினு நம்ம சொல்றோம். ஏன் living tissue அப்படினு சொல்றோம்னா because the presence of the protoplasm. அப்ப thin wall-ஆ இருந்தா கண்டிப்பா அங்க என்ன இருக்கும் அப்படினா protoplasm வந்து டெஃபினட்டா அங்க இருக்கும். Okay, so next we are going to see the secondary wall. Okay, so secondary wall அப்படிங்கிறது that is a next to the primary wall, that is a secondary wall. So secondary wall is laying, that is during the maturation, எப்போ அந்த cell wall நல்லா matured ஆகும்போது அந்த secondary wall வந்து அதுல வந்து form ஆகுது. It's very important to that, it gives shape to the cell, ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு defined shape கொடுக்கக்கூடியது வந்து secondary wall. So definitely it is very thick and inelastic. Okay, but which one is the elastic? The primary wall is the very elastic in nature. This is the inelastic and which is made up of cellulose along with lignin. Okay, the pectin, lignin is very so it gives a very hard cell wall materials. Okay, that is a very hard cell wall material. It gives very thickness to the cell. அந்த cell wall க்கு ஒரு thickness கொடுக்கக்கூடியது வந்து the lignin and cellulose அப்படினு சொல்றோம். So the secondary wall is divided into three regions. And three regions எது அப்படினா S1, S2, S3. அதுலயே ஒரு 3 layers வந்து இருக்கும். It is here. So the cellulose இதுலயே என்ன இருக்கு அப்படினா it consists of your microfibrils. So that is microfibrils are bind with that matrix ஓட bind பண்ணிருக்கும். So the basic cell wall material is cellulose is present. எல்லாத்துலயுமே basic cell wall material cellulose இல்லாம இருக்கவே இருக்காது. Cellulose is a microfibril that's a compactly arranged with different orientation, different structure வந்து தெரியும். If you cut the trees, we can see the different structure in each and every stem, every wood நீ cut பண்ணும்போது different structure தெரியும். So because the presence of that is here and the microfibrils, so different orientations, அதனால தான் நமக்கு different structures வந்து நமக்கு தெரியுது. Okay, so that is your orientations forming a laminated structure and the cell wall strength is increased. Okay, cell wall oda strength increase ஆகிறதுக்கு reason so that's a microfibril oda orientations தான். Okay, how it is form tight ஆ form பண்ணுச்சுனா டெஃபினட்டா அங்க வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும், ரொம்ப thick ஆ இருக்கும். loosely arranged ஆயிடுச்சு அப்படினா it will be very thin in nature. Okay, next one is a middle lamellae. So middle lamellae is here, so that is between the two cells. It is a first layer. So in that middle lamellae, it is outermost layer. We can say that is outermost layer because which is present in next to the primary wall. So this is made up of, there is a calcium, magnesium and pectate. Okay, so it's a very hard cell wall materials that is deposited at the time of the cytokinins அப்படினு சொல்றோம். Cyto அப்படிங்கிறது cytoplasm, kinins that is a divisions. Okay, when the cytoplasm will be divide. Okay, so during that conditions. Okay, அது ரெண்டும் ஒண்ணா டிவைட் ஆகும்போது, example for a single cell is divided into two. Okay, so first they have to divide with the help of that outer layer. So அப்படியே அது கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா உள்ள போகும்போது cytoplasm, then finally the nucleus are divided. Okay, so that is during the cytokinesis, so we can see the formation of calcium and magnesium pectate. Okay, it's look like a cement like structure. That is a amorphous layer அப்படினு சொல்றோம். So two adjacent cell, ரெண்டு செல்லையும் வந்து ஒட்ட வைக்கிறதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணக்கூடிய ஒரு சிமெண்ட் மாதிரி இருக்கக்கூடிய லேயர் தான் middle lamellae. Okay, so this is வந்து it's inactive in condition, optically inactive அப்படினா, so இதுல வந்து எந்த just they have to that is attached to two cells. Okay, ரெண்டு cells மட்டும் attached பண்ணதுக்கு தான் இது வந்து யூஸ் ஆகுதே தவிர so வேற எந்த பர்பஸ்க்கும் வந்து இது யூஸ் ஆகுறது கிடையாது. Okay, so I think up to this enough today. That is a structure of the cell wall. The first one is a primary wall, second one is the secondary wall, and third one is here middle lamellae is over. And next one, that is a plasmodesmata. So we will see tomorrow. So we will learn so many things in the plasmodesmata. So plasmodesmata is nothing. So that is present between the two cells. Ipo rendu cellgalukku naduvula eppadi vandu that is middle lamellae irukko adhe mari, so both between the two cells we can see the small pore like structures. Okay, so through this way the material will be moved from one place to another. That is a plasmodesmata. Okay, so plasmodesmata is act as a channel between the, so that is protoplasm of the adjacent cells. Okay, rendu பக்கத்துல இருக்கக்கூடிய செல் தான் adjacent cells அப்படினு சொல்றோம். So this is the way. So இதுதான் வந்து இந்த plasmodesmata. Okay, so they have to exchange the protoplasm. இங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய protoplasm வந்து it will be move into the another cells. அதே மாதிரி அங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய protoplasm வந்து இந்த பக்கம் move ஆகும். ஓகேவா? So that is present in the, that is your middle lamellae. Middle lamellae தான் அந்த pore வந்து இருக்கு. இந்த pore இருக்கக்கூடிய place வந்து middle lamellae. So அது வழியா தான் they have to exchange அப்படினு சொல்றோம். So the protoplasm of the adjacent cells through which many substances pass through. Okay, protoplasm இருக்கக்கூடிய lipids, nucleic acids, macromolecules. So anything they have to pass through from one cell to another cell. Okay, it consists of, that is your few regions. Secondary wall layer is laid unevenly. Uneven அப்படினு சொன்னானா, so அந்த thickness வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும் அப்படினா ஒரு ஈவனா இருக்காது, uneven thickness இருக்கும். Where the chamber is there, chamber அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து the hole is present, where that is a uneven conditions. Okay, but in the primary wall, so that is a secondary wall layer is laid unevenly, whereas the primary wall and middle lamellae are laid continuously. Such as regions are called pits. Okay, so uneven ஈவனா இருக்கக்கூடியது எது அப்படினு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, so primary wall and middle lamellae அதுல இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த thickness வந்து ஈவனா இருக்கும். So secondary wall ல வந்து uneven thickness வந்து பார்க்க முடியும். எங்க ஈவன் thickness ஒரே மாதிரி thickness இருக்கும், so அந்த இடத்துல தான் அந்த pits இருக்கும். pits அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து துளைகள். Okay, so on the pits valiya da adu vandu enna agum, the water that liquid will be moved. Okay, the pits consists of, that is a pit chamber. pit la vandu enna irukku appadina pit chamber appdinu solvom. So adha sutti vandu oru chinna thulai, adha sutti vandu oru membrane mari irukum. Okay, oru hole irukna, the hole la vandu it's like a small membrane filter. நம்ம வந்து tea filtrate பண்றோம் இல்லையா, so அந்த filter மாதிரி இருக்கும். So அது வழியா தான் என்ன ஆகுது, that is your materials will be moved from one cell to another. The pit membrane has a many minute pores. Okay, first என்ன சொன்னா, it has a pits. The pits consists of a pit chamber and the pit membrane is present. Okay, through this way the pit membrane consists of many pores and through this way that will be moved. Okay, that's a permeable அப்படினு சொல்றோம். permeable அப்படினா it will be allow some particles through this way, that is a permeable in conditions. So the pits of two types, namely simple pits, another one is here bordered pits அப்படினு சொல்றோம். simple pits அப்படிங்கிறது it consists of a small hole. இதே bordered pits அப்படினா it has a double layer. double layer இருந்துச்சுனா border, பக்கத்துல ஒரு border போட்டனா border pits. Okay, so then what is the functions of the cell wall? Cell wall oda function enna? If it is no cell wall, just you have to imagine it, we cannot see any shape of the cells. Okay, the cell oda shape நம்ம சொல்லவே முடியாது. So definitely it gives a shape to the cell and they have to give a strength to the cell. செல்லுக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரென்த் எப்படி கிடைக்குது அப்படின்னா தட் இஸ் ரிஜிடிட்டி அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். அந்த ஸ்ட்ரென்த்துக்கு வந்து கிடைக்கிறதுக்கு ரீசன் வந்து செல் வால் தான். அண்ட் தட் இஸ் மெயின் பேரியர் அப்படிங்கிறது தடுப்பா வந்து இருக்கு. ஓகே, செல் வால் இல்லை அப்படின்னா எனி ஆர்கானிசம், எனி பேத்தோஜன் they can be easily move to inside the cell. Okay, so that is act as a barrier for several molecules to enter the cells. So next one, it provides a protection to the internal protoplasm. So internal protoplasm உள்ள இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த protoplasmத்துக்கு வந்து against ஏதாவது injury வராம அது protect பண்ணக்கூடியதா இருக்கு. So prevent the bursting of the cells by maintaining the osmotic pressure. So what is the osmotic pressures? So if you keep anything inside the cells, நிறைய நமக்கு வந்து உள்ள செல்லுக்குள்ள வந்து நல்லா நம்ம உள்ள நிறைய அழுத்தி உள்ள வச்சுக்கிட்டே இருந்தால் கண்டிப்பா அந்த செல் வந்து burst ஆயிரும். ஓகேவா? So osmotic pressure அப்படிங்கிறது they should maintaining the pressure inside the cell. Okay, what is the osmosis? The movement of the molecules from higher concentration to lower concentrations. ஓகேவா? இப்போ எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஃபார் நீங்க வந்து மவுத்ல ஃபுல்லா வந்து ஏர் வச்சுட்டு ரொம்ப நேரம் நீங்க க்ளோஸ் பண்ணி இருக்க முடியாது இல்லையா? ஸோ தட் இஸ் என்னது we cannot maintain. ஓகே, ஸோ அதே மாதிரி தான். ஸோ the cell burst ஆகாம அதை மெயின்டைன் பண்ணக்கூடியது வந்து செல் வால். If it has any more cell content in the cell, so it will be moved to the another cell. So through the plasmodesmata it will be moved. Okay, அது ஃபுல்லா இருந்துச்சுன்னா செல் வந்து burst ஆயிரும். So it plays a major role by acting as a mechanism of defense for the cells. That's a defense mechanism, means it will not allow any microorganism to the inside. That is your mechanism of defense. Okay, so this is your functions of the cells. So avladha cell membrane, cell wall is over. So the functions of the cell wall is very very important. That's an important 5-mark question. And explain the cell wall in the plant cell. You must explain about the primary wall, and next one is your secondary wall, and the next one is your, that is your middle lamellae. Okay, with the help of the diagram it should be explained. I think up to this enough today. We will see tomorrow. I hope you could understand. If you have any doubt, you can raise your questions in the next class. Okay, thank you children.